What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Dominate Every Aspect. Do have to admit that that title might be a little clickbaity, but stick around, you're in for a treat today. No, I'm not cheating by any means. I'm just kind of playing the system a little bit smarter. So what I'm getting at is a lot of guys diet until the day before the show, and then they carb up, and that's it. While that may get some people very, very peeled, me on the other hand, as you know, I've been taking diet breaks along the way, and essentially I haven't been trying to lose any additional weight since mid-September, essentially after my last show in Kansas City. So what am I getting at by cheating the system? What I'm getting at is that a lot of people are under the impression that you have to diet until the very day before the show and then do that massive carb up. Me, on the other hand, like I said, I've stopped pursuing weight loss, or fat loss for that matter, since mid-September. I've been increasing my food since mid-September, and not only am I feeling a lot better, I'm looking a lot better, and my training has improved. Now, I know my hormones definitely aren't back to where they were because that takes a lot of time, but just my mental alertness, my mental capacity, me being able to do things around the house on the computer, just to handle a lot more, to process a lot more, I'm almost back to my normal ways with that. So, a few numbers, and I know numbers kind of bore some people, but I thought they were kind of interesting, so I wrote them down. The last time I was eating 400 grams of carbohydrates was back in February of this year, and I weighed 188 pounds. Right now, I'm at 169 pounds. So that's about a 20 pound difference with eating roughly the same amount, which is pretty crazy. Same fat and same protein intake, damn near. My lowest at 165.5 pounds, so let's say like 166 pounds, I only saw that for one day. My lowest total intake was 250 carb, 55 fat, and 240 protein. So I've increased my food from 250 to 400 grams of carbohydrates a day, which is a 150 gram increase, from 55 fat to 65 fat, and I've only bumped my protein up just a little bit for the sake of kind of keeping things under control. Now, I've encouraged everyone to take diet breaks along the way, and I've said about getting ready for your shows early in previous videos. This is the culmination of all that. You know, this is me putting in to work what I planned to do 40 odd weeks ago. I think this is week 48. Yeah, this is week 48. You know, next week will be week 49 on show day that I've been dieting for. So, being ready super early. Truthfully, I've been about 168 pounds, 169 pounds since about August. Like August 1st, so I've held my conditioning from August, September, October, through the middle of early start of November now. So I've been ready extremely early. I didn't necessarily want to start increasing my food into the KC show because I wanted to see how I stacked up. I was told there that I need to come in a little bit larger. This year, so it would seem, they're liking a larger look. In years past, a more conditioned look has done well. This year, from what I've seen, a larger, more quote-unquote bodybuilder look is going over well. Obviously, you guys know I'm not necessarily the largest person. I'm 169 pounds at about 5'9½", so I'm not necessarily going to blow anybody out of the water when it comes to size, but I'm trying to come in at the biggest possible, still holding a great level of conditioning. Now, you guys will see in the video, my conditioning is still very good. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be necessarily the most conditioned guys because I know some of the other guys I'm competing against and they are very, very peeled. Now, they are not 170 pounds on stage at my height. They might be a little bit taller, they might be a little bit shorter. They're definitely lean. That's not the look I'm going for this time around. The look, I've done that in the past and I haven't placed as well. So yes, it is a roll of the dice. But I am cheating the system per se by growing into the show. I'm not necessarily recomping a ton of muscle, but shit, since mid-September, since I've been increasing my food, my strength has gone up, my lifts have been better, my performance in the gym has been better. So maybe I gained a tiny bit of muscle. Obviously with me filling out my glycogen stores, that helps a lot. I am still very hungry on a daily basis though, so don't get me wrong, just because I'm intaking 400 grams of carbohydrates a day does not mean that I'm still not very hungry. Obviously, with a low body fat level, your ghrelin and your leptin is going to be still wreaking havoc on your system. So only until I start putting more fat on will that start to normalize, and obviously that's going to be well after the show that will normalize in regards to all the other hormones. So if you're out there and if you're planning your next contest prep, and like I said, this is week 48 for me, so maybe someone looking to do Worlds next year, to compete in the late fall next year, you want to start laying out your diet plans now. You want to start laying out your diet breaks. You want to see when's the last time you want to start reversing into the show. I would highly recommend it because I've been feeling a lot better. I've been keeping that quiet, honestly, because I didn't want other people to know how I was feeling. Yes, there was points and times where I felt like absolute trash during contest prep when I was digging very, very hard, roughly when I was around 166 pounds, to try to get my body fat levels low. But I decided that enough was enough, and that I got lean enough, and that it's time to act like a bodybuilder now and to start eating a lot more. So then I started increasing my food. As I started increasing my food, it took about 10 to 12 days, in all honesty, for me to start feeling the benefits a little bit better, but slowly and slowly I started to feel better, started to go about my normal activities again, my training started to improve, my weight started to go up, and yes, my body weight has increased about 3 pounds since I started increasing my food. But if you were to look at some pictures of the footage of me, there's not a ton of difference. Maybe there's some very slight, like the cuts maybe aren't quite as deep, but I'm totally fine with that because at the end of the day, they want someone who looks like a bodybuilder and not just someone who looks like it was a dieting contest. So guys, next Saturday is going to be IPE Worlds. There's going to be about 10 or 11 of us in the class. It kind of depends on who all shows up. I do have a rough list. I will be making posts throughout the week about the competitors like I did for the Orton Cup, for those guys who are willing to share with us. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it up to the IPE to put out the list if they want to or not. Saturday will be show day. The show will be pretty early in the morning. I will definitely keep you guys updated. And then of course, next Monday I'll have a full video breakdown for you guys of Worlds. There'll be a lot of coverage and a lot of my thoughts with that video and kind of a postseason wrap-up. So I might break it up into a few different videos so I'm just not rambling like I tend to do sometimes. But thank you guys for being with me for the past 48 weeks. I hope that you guys learned something along the way. Hopefully that I conveyed my message, or at least the way that I think to lay out my current contest prep. And that's how I've pretty much been laying out my clients' contest preps with the diet breaks and everything. So should be interesting next week. Wish me luck, and hopefully I will bring back some hardware. I will say that I am hopefully gonna get top 3. I think that would be tremendous. Realistic goal would be top 5 in the world. That would be really, really cool for my first full pro year. So as always, guys, keep dominating every aspect, and I will see you next week.